In the heart of Osu, Accra, between Christiansborg, otherwise known as Osu Castle, and Independence Square, known locally as Black Star Square, a new and exciting story is unfolding in Ghana. This is a story rooted in community, heritage, and education. One that speaks to the past, resonates in the present, and imagines a future shaped by shared memory and collective creativity. It is called the Centre. The Christiansborg Archaeological Heritage Project, or CAHP, is a placemaking, non-profit organisation that has collaborated over the past 10 years with local residents to strengthen the descendant and local community through archaeology, heritage and education work. In the doing, CAHP has gained the trust of the community, the city officials, the traditional authorities and the government. CAHP is committed to inclusivity, collaboration and mutual respect. Our mission is to raise awareness of the value of heritage, to preserve and protect it, and to empower the community through education, sustainable livelihoods, and social, environmental, and economic justice. In 2014, the project began as an archaeology research project at Christiansborg Castle, operated by Professor and CAHP Director Rachel Ama-Essa Engman. It continues to work with the support of the Office of the President of the Republic of Ghana and in collaboration with the local and descendant community in Osu. Over the years, CAHP began to learn about the many challenges faced by our collaborators who live in the area surrounding the castle. The community surrounding Christiansborg Castle has long been marginalised. This area of Accra, only half a kilometre from the high-rise apartments, upscale restaurants and shopping of Osu's very own Oxford Street, is one of intergenerational poverty and increasing economic disparity. It is under-resourced and underserved. Residents face high unemployment or insecure low-paid work, and many, especially the youth, struggle with the concomitant problems of alcoholism, drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, juvenile delinquency and crime. Most homes do not have electricity, running water or sanitation facilities, and no recreational public spaces exist. In 2018, Rachel Engman collaborated with Dorothy Engman to develop a community outreach education program. CAHP began by opening a small children's library at the castle. Within a short space of time, however, it became clear that the library was too small to accommodate the growing number of children eager to read, learn, and take part in the centre's activities. So CAHP opened a larger space near the castle, a welcoming hub where children and young people could read, learn, and grow through books, workshops, and community programs. CAHP also launched the Archaeology Club, a subsidised after-school program designed to engage children and young people through experiential teaching and learning and object-based pedagogies, bringing history to life in meaningful, accessible, and interactive ways. CAHP also offered free classes for both young and old, creating inclusive spaces where learning, creativity, and community connections could flourish across the generations. Yet again, just 1 year later, CAHP outgrew the space, driven by the overwhelming response to growing public programming and community engagement initiatives. So CAHP opened a new location called the Centre. The Centre began as an artifact of a bygone era. Engman discovered a long abandoned historic house that she believed would be an ideal home for the Centre. Her excitement was fueled by the building's deep historical connection to Christiansborg Castle, the very site where she had been conducting archaeological research for a decade. This large house, Loco House, dates to 1940 and belongs to the descendants of Hans Leik, a former Danish administrator at Christiansborg Castle, and his Gar wife, Jamle. But over the decades, the house had become little more than a fragile shell. No roof, no floors, no doors, no windows, only cracked walls, broken pillars, overgrowing plants, and the quiet stir of insects. Tropical flora and fauna had reclaimed the space. Restoration began not with grand construction, but with careful respect for what history had left behind. First began the arduous task of clearing the old site. It took weeks of painstaking work to remove the precarious hanging pillars, clear away decades-old debris and crumbling building materials, and thoroughly fumigate the site, ensuring that it was safe from potential dangers, including poisonous snakes and other hazardous wildlife. Then our architect Yao Bodhi examined the house and created a design that would be in keeping with that of the original. Engineer Kalian Buchedid advised on the structural needs of the building. The old walls and supporting pillars were stabilized under the watchful eyes of the construction supervisor, Fred Nidoruna, before any rebuilding could even start. Stone by stone, beam by beam, the old historic house began to breathe again. Masons reinforced its weakened foundations, and skilled local carpenters rebuilt wooden beams using traditional techniques. Artist Abdul Ganiyu upcycled and creatively installed discarded colonial windows and doors. The old weathered walls, cracked but still standing, were deliberately and carefully restored and preserved, lending the space an authentic, vintage aesthetic which honors its multi-layered past. New roofing brought shelter to rooms that had stood open to the sky for decades. Donated materials from sponsors and community members, everything from cement to iron fittings to large sheets of glass, transformed this historic space. Inside, handmade work converted an antique door into a conference table, old wood into sturdy library and studio workshop tables and benches, and salvaged bookshelves have now given the rooms a warm, welcoming feeling. Community artists revitalized the interior with vibrant murals. Bare surfaces have been turned into living narratives of heritage, collective memory, identity, and placemaking. For many, the transformation of the house seemed impossible. Some believed it was too decayed, too abandoned for restoration, and some said this directly to Engman, whereas others whispered their doubts. But despite the skepticism and challenges, Engman was determined. She saw potential in the house that others could not see, a belief in the power of heritage, history, and community that kept her pushing forward. The result is a space with a distinct vibe, timeless, tactile, and unlike anywhere else in Ghana. The centre stands apart, rooted in history and heritage, and full of soul. It is dedicated to the community, including those who live on a meagre income, thereby ensuring that everyone, regardless of their financial background, has access to its resources and programs. Every element, each brush stroke, each beam, each salvaged fragment has contributed to the transformation of a forgotten ruin into a thriving hub of learning, creativity, and community. Today, the Centre thrives as a vibrant hub of community engagement. Building upon its earlier iterations and opened in 2025, it is a springboard for community revitalization. It boasts a children's and an adult's library, offering a wealth of educational resources for learning and growth. A studio workshop fosters hands-on, object-based and experiential learning, while the gallery area serves as a dynamic venue for exhibitions, performances, the spoken word and other cultural events. The gift shop, filled with locally created artworks and products, helps sustain its public programming, ensuring that the centre can continue to serve the community in the years to come. The centre stands as a testament to the resilience and the power of community and collaboration, offering a place where people of all ages, backgrounds and abilities can connect, learn and grow together. The Christiansborg Archaeological Heritage Project, preserving the past, empowering the future.